1. Superman. It is a 1978 superhero film based on DC Comics featuring the eponymous character and was directed by Richard Donner. It is the first of 4 installments in the Superman film series starring Christopher Reeve as Superman. It depicts the origin of Superman, including his infancy as Kal-El of Krypton, son of Jor-El, Brando, and his youthful years in the rural town of Smallville. Ilya Sachkind had the idea of a Superman film in 1973, and after a difficult process with DC Comics, the Sachkinds bought the rights to the character the following year. Several directors, most notably Guy Hamilton, and screenwriters were associated with the project before Donner was hired to direct. Tom Mankiewicz was drafted in to rewrite the script and was given a creative consultant credit. It was decided to film both Superman and its sequel Superman 2, 1980, simultaneously, with principal photography beginning in March 1977 and ending in October 1978. Tensions arose between Donner and the producers, and a decision was made to stop filming the sequel, of which 75% had already been completed and finished the first film. The most expensive film made up to that point, with a budget of $55 million, Superman premiered at the Kennedy Center in Washington, D.C. on December 10, 1978 and was released in the United Kingdom on December 14 and in the United States on December 15. The film was a critical and financial success. Its worldwide box office earnings of $300 million made it the second highest grossing release of the year. It received praise for Reeves' performance and John Williams' musical score and was nominated for Best Film Editing, Best Music, Original Score, and Best Sound at the 51st Academy Awards, and received a Special Achievement Academy Award for Visual Effects, and received Best Science Fiction Film Award at Saturn Awards. In 2017, Superman was selected for preservation by the Library of Congress's National Film Registry. 2. Superman 2. It is a 1980 superhero film directed by Richard Lester and written by Mario Puzo based on the DC Comics character Superman. It is the second installment in the Superman film series and a sequel to Superman, 1978. A direct continuation of the first Superman, Christopher Reeve reprises his role as Superman. The film's plot features the arrival of General Zod and his comrades on Earth, following their release from the Phantom Zone, a prison that had been made by the people of Krypton. Zod seeks revenge for imprisonment by pursuing the planet's last son, Kal-El, alias Superman. As a result, Kal-El, who had unknowingly freed them, must now face threats from his long-dead home planet. Zod also allies with Lex Luthor, who still aspires to world domination. The hero also faces an internal conflict, torn between his duties as Earth's hero and his desire to live amongst them solely as Clark Kent, and especially with his love interest Lois Lane. After the release of Superman in December 1978, Donner was fired as director and replaced by Lester. Several members of the cast and crew declined to return to complete the sequel in the wake of Donner's firing. In order to be officially credited as the director, Lester reshot most of the film. Principal photography resumed in September 1979 and ended in March 1980. The film was released in Australia and most of Europe on December 4, 1980, and in other countries in 1981. It received positive reviews from film critics, who praised the performances of Hackman, Kidder, Stamp, and Reeve as well as the visual effects and the humor. It grossed $216 million worldwide against a production budget of $54 million, which meant it was a box office success, albeit less so than its predecessor. A sequel, Superman 3, was released in June 1983, for which Lester returned as director. A director's cut of the film, restoring the original vision for the film under Donner's supervision, titled Superman 2. The Richard Donner cut was released on November 28, 2006 in various home media formats. 3. Superman 3. It is a 1983 superhero film directed by Richard Lester from a screenplay by David Newman and Leslie Newman based on the DC Comics character Superman. It is the third installment in the Superman film series and the sequel to Superman 2, 1980. In the film, Superman battles a corrupt businessman who has constructed a powerful supercomputer to kill him. Superman 3 was released in the United States on June 17, 1983. The film proved less successful than its predecessors, both critically and financially, grossing $80.2 million worldwide. A sequel, Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, was released in 1987. 4. Supergirl. It is a 1984 British superhero film directed by Jeanette Svark from a screenplay by David Odell based on the DC Comics character of the same name. It is the fourth film in the Superman film series, set after the events of Superman 3, 1983, and serving as a spin-off of the series. The film stars Helen Slater as Supergirl. The film was released in the United Kingdom on July 19, 1984 and in the United States on November 21, 1984 but failed to impress either critics or audiences while also underperforming at the box office. Dunaway and O'Toole earned Golden Raspberry Award nominations for Worst Actress and Worst Actor respectively. Slater was nominated for a Saturn Award for Best Actress. The film's failure ultimately led producers Alexander and Ilya Sochine to sell the Superman film rights to the Cannon Group Inc. in 1986. Its first DVD release was by the independent home video company Anchor Bay Entertainment in 2000, under license from then rights holder Studio Canal. Warner Bros. Pictures acquired the rights to the film and reissued it on DVD late in 2006 to coincide with the release of Superman Returns. Although it is canon with the Christopher Reeve Superman films, it is not included in any of the Superman DVD or Blu-ray box sets by Warner Bros. 5. Superman 4. It is a 1987 superhero film directed by Sidney J. Furie and written by Lawrence Conner and Mark Rosenthal. It is the fifth film, including Supergirl, in the Superman film series and a sequel to Superman 3, 1983. It is the first film in the series not to have the involvement of the Sochines as producers. The film also marks the final appearance of Reeve as Superman, who agreed to return in exchange for a large salary and some creative control where he contributed to a script dealing with nuclear disarmament. Shortly before the film's production, the film's producer the Cannon Group suffered a major financial crisis that forced major budget cuts and 45 minutes of footage were deleted after negative test screenings. The film received overwhelmingly negative reviews from critics and fans, citing poor special effects and plot holes. Plans for Superman v were cancelled and no Superman films were released until Superman Returns in 2006. The movie grossed $15.6 million in the United States and Canada and $14.6 million internationally for a worldwide box office gross of $30.2 to $36.7 million. 6. Superman Returns. It is a 2006 American superhero film directed by Bryan Singer and written by Michael Dougherty and Dan Harris. Based on the DC Comics character Superman, it serves as a homage sequel to Superman, 1978, and Superman 2, 1980, ignoring the events of Superman 3, 1983, Supergirl, 1984, and Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, 1987. The film stars Brandon Routh as Superman. In the film, Superman returns to Earth after 5 years and discovers that his love interest Lois Lane has moved on from him and that his archenemy Lex Luthor is planning to kill him and reshape North America. After a series of unsuccessful projects to resurrect Superman following the critical and financial failure of The Quest for Peace, Warner Bros. Pictures hired Singer to direct Superman Returns in July 2004. The film received generally positive reviews from critics, who praised its visual effects, storyline, and Singer's direction but criticized its screenplay and runtime. While the film was one of the biggest films of the year, earning $391.1 million on a budget of $204 to $223 million and becoming the ninth highest-grossing film of 2006. Warner Bros. Was disappointed with the worldwide box office return and canceled a sequel for release in 2009. The Superman film series was rebooted in 2013 with Man of Steel directed by Zack Snyder and starring Henry Cavill as Superman. Routh later reprised his role as Superman in the 2019 Arrowverse crossover, Crisis on Infinite Earths.